WIFT PM.
Maze Jackson.
If you could make up a social media holiday, what would it be?
Randy said National Don't Let No One Put You Down Day.
No one. What you gonna do? So when they say something crazy, you slap them?
Be like Maze said. Randy said a Jukathon Day.
Man, we're about 60 years old. I done had a heart
You gotta
attack.
get your heart rate up.
Okay, not that far.
All right, Mario said my favorite one. My friends and I do what we call National Call Off from Work Day.
As a business owner, I don't.
You don't like that, yeah?
I don't like that.
Because I'm the boss of this thing.
We got Marcus Garvey Day from Remy too.
Oh, Marcus Garvey Day. All right, what will we do on Marcus Garvey Day?
Call off from work.
I'm going to need you to go ahead and come in tomorrow. That would be great. Okay?
Yeah, right.
Every black holiday has something to do with calling off from work.
You're cool. I'm out.
How about National Join a Positive Black Organization Day? Because I don't want to be recruited. I don't want to be recruited and the brothers be like, thank you. Thank you. How about National Tell White People the Truth Day? Tell them how you really feel.
You can't handle the truth.
Why don't we call that National Black People Get Locked Up Day?
I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man threatening my life.
Hello.
The most dangerous show in the morning.
I don't know what you did, but you did it right. Girl, you make it look so easy. Everywhere you go, heads turning left and right. Can't say you a dime, you're a 20-piece. Cause girl, you're the reason I be acting funny. Everything in me telling me don't let you get away. And all the guys looking like they wanna love you. Every day I'm your body, got not over my dead body. Why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good? With your hair done, nails done, when you put that clone on. Why you gotta look so good? With your hair done, nails done, when you put that clone on. Why you gotta look so good? I can look and see you're not an average chick. You're shutting it down everywhere you go. Girl, I want you as bad as I wanna check. Cause you're sexy from head to toe. Girl, you're the reason I be acting funny. Everything in me telling me all that you get away. And all the guys looking like they wanna love you. Every day I'm your body, got not over my dead body. Why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good? With your hair done, nails done, when you put your grown on. It's something about you when you put your grown on. When you're waking up straight out of bed, girl, why you gotta look so good? When you're at the job just taking a break, girl, why you gotta look so good? So good. On the dance floor, giving more. Why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good? Girl, you know you be killing them when you be getting your own woman on. Why you gotta look so good? With your hair done and your nails done, when you put the grown on, girl, why you gotta look so good? Girl, why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good?
I got that 10K the other day.
but it's already gone away. I had some bills that I had to pay. I need my money, my own money. Y'all know the hustle. I need my money, my own money. I need my money, my own money. I need my check, my 10K, my 10K, my 10K, my 10K. Y'all know the hustle for that bag. Went to the ATM, 2 or 3 of them. I put my card in, but no cash came out. I wanted to shout. If you're rich, you can get a bad pen. But if you're poor, all you're gonna hear is no, 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 no. I need my money, I roll the money. I need my money, I need my 10K, my 10K, my 10K.
You know the last time I asked you for my money,
Baby, what's going on?
and you gave me some lame excuse. I don't want to hear none of that.
But you know what he is
Give me my money.
I ain't got nothing else for you. You better be
Off and on.
Y'all know the hustle, and y'all know how we hustle. You know I gotta secure that bag, and you know I gotta hustle. Y'all know, 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 y'all know the hustle. Nigga gon' hustle, 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 hustle. Get that bag. I need my money. I roll the money. I need my money. I roll the money. I need my money.
Back to the Maze Jackson Show. You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
For Ruthie Moore, for Todd Stoger, I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Maze said, Mayor Lightfoot, man, we ain't accepting that. We ain't accepting that. Let's go. Yeah. Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts, man. Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover-up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you can put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gonna sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to send it. We need some different players in the game to handle business. Too many shady characters like Madigan and Blago. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters, it's what the land was built on. Same streets with hood legends, DNA get spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking, trying to get they steel on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Let us give bogus appraisals a red line. Car crackers out here getting minimal fair time. And up the seal carry, I stay with the pipe. The Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. He was hella nervous, told him, shorty, this is a way of life. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks.
Wake up, Chicago! Wake up! Back at technical difficulty. I think we got the together. I don't know if it's the gremlins. I don't know if it's the people. I don't know what's going on, but I think we're back. Ruthie Moore. This is Maze Jackson, Ruthie Moore, DJ Riis the Ruler. It is almost, it's 7 o'clock, 7:04. So I want to say what's up to everybody. Sorry for the technical difficulties. I know we said what's up to the WBGX 1570 audience, AM audience who's rocking with us. Thank you to everybody on Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. Please take a moment to share the broadcast. Let everybody know who was tuned in with us that we are back up and running, and make sure they get to the right broadcast. All right, Jackson got my Ruthie Moore as DJ Riis the Ruler. Threw me off a little bit. So Ruthie, really quickly, I'm going to move to the social media question of the day. Riis, you got the big voice for me? If you got the big voice for me, why don't you hit it?
Social media question of the day.
Ruthie Moore, I don't know if you saw this story in the Chicago Sun-Times today, but apparently 23 schools in CPS voted to revamp their safety plans and take police officers out of their schools. I remember the controversy after Georgia of whether people would continue to have police in their schools. Mm-hmm. I think we saw so many videos, and I don't know, you remember that one in the one school where they dragged the girl down the steps, beat her, mm-hmm. That whole thing. Then we saw, I don't know if you saw the body slam video when the police officer body slammed the student in Louisiana, like picked him up, did a full suplex, body slammed him, laid him out. And then combined with the kind of the mentality that police have regarding us in the face of George Floyd, there was as we talk about rethinking policing, police officers in schools was a hot topic. And 23 CPS schools voted to reduce the number of police officers to go from 2 to 1. CPD, mm-hmm. in defiance of both the parents and actually CPS, decided to send 2 police officers to the schools that requested less anyway. Ruthie, the social media question of the day is, why won't CPD honor parents' request to remove the officers from the schools? Now, the first thing that came to my mind was they need a partner, right? They don't want to be alone in the school with these, what I would say they perceive in some cases as savages. Mm. And so, you know how officer calls for backup, they need to have somebody backed up, is my thought. Now, CPD has not responded to the mm-hmm. requests to understand why they would send these officers, even though the parents in the safety plan said, we only want 1. And then on top of it, CPS said to them, we only want 1 officer. The police said, you getting 2. Mm-hmm. Why won't they honor?
I think it's exactly probably what you said, is that 1 officer wouldn't want to be alone.
Especially, like, remember that officer that was he in Florida when he was hiding?
Oh.
Remember that one?
Yeah.
And he getting prosecuted now. So maybe they see. Well, let me back up, and I'm gonna talk about my thoughts. I remember. Well, no. I remember when we first had Officer Mack and Officer Nagel came to Bolingbrook High School, and oddly, I had never seen police in schools until the white guys who used to talk all the smack started getting the brakes beat off of them from the black people that migrated. When we no longer were like in the super minority, is when they started bringing police officers into the schools. That was like in 1987. But prior to that, I had never seen police officers in schools, right? It was before the mass shootings at schools, etc. Ruthie, I think since then we've become accustomed to the police being a presence in the schools. And I remember the uproar of parents in certain schools saying, no, we got to keep the police in the schools. And I kind of, so I think I constantly evolve on these subjects because I think I initially started with, like, you know how you always talk about you got to see a different way? Like you got to envision it a different way. Like if we have metal detectors, right? And the metal detectors do a job effectively. Why do we need armed police officers in schools? Like if you saying the metal detector don't work, I'm okay. I maybe can hear that, but I feel like the constant threat of deadly force in school is a little traumatic. And I understand security. I understand. Do you think that the reason that police are sending, because I don't know if we have mass shootings in schools here. I haven't seen it. I'm not negating that it can't happen. But why do police feel do you think they're scared of the kids? Even without a gun. Like, now I can see you being on the street and being like, all right. But if I make you walk through a metal detector, you got to carry a plastic see-through bag. Like, I mean, think about this. They make you carry a plastic see-through bag. I would honestly say I can't. I don't understand why CPD would send the people. 23 schools asked not to. I said, this is against parents' CPS's wishes. The defiance, though, is really a concern, right? And if you combine this with the response of, when the police say we're not going to do what you tell us to do and they got the guns, everybody's asking, nobody's telling. Ain't nobody saying, no, you can't bring the police officers with their gun. Because how y'all be saying that thing? Y'all be saying, hey, who gonna check me, boo?
That's kind of what CPD saying.
Yeah. And I open up the phone lines for me, Riis. 872-2, for y'all was about to get my real phone number. 872-259-7474. 872-259-7474. Why won't CPD honors parents' request to remove officers from the schools? And it's not just the parents. So I got to talk to my man Devin, right? You know, Devin took it upon himself to be involved in the schools by running for local school council, right? The local school councils, which are often comprised of active parents who are involved in the schools, voted, I would say they probably are best to know the kids in the schools. We create a democratic process on how to manage the schools. And right now the police are like,
we ain't honoring that.
F yo democracy.
Well, you know, in the name of public safety and security, you can do a lot of things. You can even have secret police programming that you only find out about in emails. You can do whatever you want in the name of protection, safety, and security. That's why America get to go all across the globe and be the police. In the name
Used to be. Because Afghanistan said, you ain't my police.
We'll see the deadline coming up.
Oh, no, they getting up out of there.
We gonna see what happened.
Okay. See, I got to watch Ruthie. She got the spy code. She be knowing. But I just gotta, I need y'all to give me a call, 872-259-7474. So the parents and the faculty say, we're not going to feed our kids to the beast. We don't want you walking around we don't need you walking around the school armed with your M16, excuse me. The same gun that they see on the streets that they ducking. And I gotta ask you, if they feel like they need guns to deal with unarmed kids in school, which is probably the safest place for kids, what does that mean for us on the streets? Do you think our kids need police? First of all, do you think we need police in schools? Or do we just need some real deans? Because I'm going to tell you what. They didn't need, if you got sent to our dean's office in grammar school or middle school, they had a plethora, but I don't know if a detention will do it no more. But I just don't know that the police, if you got to call the police, did I tell you about the time they call, and they will call the police on a kid, like a kid. I know a personal family member where what does it mean when a child is in a room with the police officer with a gun? Asking you questions.
Sound like an interrogation.
If the police breaks the fight up, is there any point in which they need their gun? Is there any point in which a police officer needs a gun in the school? So should they be unarmed? Should the guns be locked up in a closet in case we got a mass shooter? But until you get to that, ain't no, do police officers need to be armed in school? Reese, you say yes?
Do teachers need to be armed?
Hold up.
Only because of, man, what I remember, I went to school, it was the little shooting with a man, and then it's been mass shooting. So yeah, like if you're gonna have the police, if I'm there, I want my gun, because what if some kid just walking, busting the door and start shooting?
How often does that happen?
See, but that one chance, you know what I'm saying? You be like, I know you done did something. You be like,
So you would traumatize everybody else for the potential that it could happen.
So if I don't have my gun in there, then why would I even show up? I'm a security guard.
No, there's security guards that don't have no guns. They just got walkie-talkies.
But then it should be just them. If I'm a police officer coming in there, that's part of me.
Do police need to be in the schools?
I think they do. And nowadays, I think they do. In certain schools, like every school
give me a certain school.
My school, Prosser. Every school
Prosser? Y'all need a police officer for 7 people?
Man, let me tell you, the end of the year, and we was across the street from a police station. We used to have riot fights. Like, people were playing like, okay.
I mean, we did that too, but.
So yeah, like, I believe that it should be police, and like, should they be doing what they be doing? No, I believe that security guards should handle anything, and maybe if it's an altercation to where they can't like handle it, but other than that, man, I won't want to be no cop and not have my gun on me. And these dudes talking about what you say, 56 kill. Man, every rap song in here, you talking about shooting somebody. No, I need my gun. I need my gun.
But you know how the same way you said, like, there are riots, like we used to plan the da-da-da-da-da. That's where good staffing and good policies come into play. Because if y'all know that the riots is going to happen and the police know the riots are going to happen, meaning that they station ready, there should have been some type of intervention that take place before you let the kids riot and fight. How you going to plan like that? You see that's kind of, you see how kind of messed up that is?
So it's not really like a plan. It's like, so it's like what really happened is a couple of people like, hey man, like at the
I'm
end of
finna
the
smash dude that I've been wanting to get all year,
So
and
it's
then
not
everybody
really
get into the
like
party.
the last day, you know, like, man, G, I'm finna go ahead because you can't do nothing. So you're like, yeah, no, I'm gonna go ahead. And so now one fight escalate, then it's so much. It just jump off. So it's not like it's playing like what everybody know is like really a last day type of thing. Like
you just gotta have your head on the swivel on the last day of school.
Yeah, that's
period.
Like, that's it. And you're right that they should be more equipped. But I'm saying if I'm a cop in there with a gun, I should have my gun. But I should not have my gun around. Like I shouldn't go defuse a problem and grab kids because now if they grab my gun, like, you know what I'm saying, that's a problem.
So should the police be in the schools?
Yes.
So what's their job? To stop the mass shooter, or is it to discipline the kids?
To do anything that's beyond a security job. Like if this is something where it's a deadly weapon. You know, like if I'm a security guard and like a dude come with like a deadly weapon.
Ain't that what the metal detectors are for? That's where you stand at the door and you be like, so at the metal detector, right? Well, I'm doing the job. We done pay how many, or the metal detectors like ShotSpotter? Do they only not catch the gun?
I used to walk in and out my school
with a gun.
Not with a gun, but just to like go and get lunch. Like a security guard would like let me in and out, or like sometimes a student would like open up the back door for me. So I missed the security guard. I used to sell pops and chips and stuff. I didn't bring my big bag through the security guard. I put it on the side and my homie would grab my bag. It's ways to get it in there. And now I done got my gun in there and there's nobody else in there with a gun. And now we on Channel 7 again.
Talk to me, Ruthie.
Well, okay, so
because I'm gonna let y'all do because
I don't know, but I'm just thinking about the ways that I've seen police officers be utilized in schools, but I'm also thinking about the ways that I see security guards being utilized in schools. I think white people probably might need police officers in their school to protect their kids against like mass shooters and things like that, but that hasn't really been a problem within like predominantly like black schools. I do think it's interesting because it's always ways to finesse the system and like, you know, sneak something in. And
how many in-school shootings have we had recent times in the school?
We ain't talking about outside. We ain't talking about outside.
Inside the school.
I'm saying not a lot, not very many.
Like the last one I already remember.
But it seems like Riis is saying like, what if? Like how do we prevent this from happening? And I don't know if putting police in schools would necessarily, you know, like if it outweighs sort of the image of an armed police officer in a vest.
Just do their job. See, they be overdoing. Like if it does not require a police, like
how have you seen police officers utilized in your own experience in schools?
Depending on which one it is. Like
just give me some examples.
I done seen a couple of them cool and be like, hey man, this is just a free check. Or I done seen one that's like you saying, a body slamming student doing. In my school, I watched a dude actually like fight a cop. You know, like I'm serious. So like, yeah. So
did he get the brakes beat off of him?
No, because then everybody else jumped in and fight the cop, and he started calling for backup, and now the school is swimming with 20 cops. Like because these kids, they don't really care. Like, you know, this not the 80s, this not the 90s. Like these kids is, you know what I'm saying?
Hold on, y'all gotta pick one now, cause Riis, you be straddling the fence. You be like no, and then you be like, but yeah, it is real. Taco Tuesday.
It's real. So you gotta have them cops in there. Like I believe that they shouldn't be the main source. Like if it can be diffused without the police, or if it isn't any deadly weapons or any bodily harm to anybody, then they should just stay where they are staying. But if it's somebody with like a weapon, you a security guard. If I'm a security, I don't get paid for that. You know what I'm saying? I do not get. I'm walking out, bro. You know what? You got it. It's your school today, and I'm going out. But if it's no police in there, now we got something like a hostage situation. If I have a gun, then what? Then who
I just keep feeling like we keep. Okay, so this is how I'm just gonna say this is how we get mass incarceration. What if, right? You play to the fears of. I would be curious to know how many people. I still feel like inside of school, for the most part, if you're going to school. Now, you might cut up in school, but I do not feel like school is... You might get a beat down, but I don't think there's really that many life and death situations inside the school building that require a guy with a pistol. And I am saying that oftentimes the police are used as disciplinarians. That is the job of the dean, right? Like, you had to go to the dean's office. Like, before there was no assault, like no, when corporal punishment was real. Hey, Joe, you guys send that, man, St. Anselm's, they sent you down to Principal Zare Foot. She had 3 batting balls taped together. It was either a hand or a tail. And I feel like a lot of times police officers are in school because the teachers are scared of the kids or their parents, and so they don't want to handle the discipline. And like you said, somebody say it's a free check. But I think if the police officer comes in, if they're not a police officer that's trained specifically to deal with young people and how to diffuse the situations, and like, to me, like, if you a school, your gun where? But I don't know, you need to be walking around with it in the hall. When they call you and say, okay, code, well, not code blue, shoot. Well, when they call you and say code blue, maybe you do need to be doing based on what it is.
You know, all high school, come on, man, they need. So you trying to tell me it should be no police in like high school, like, or you, man.
I think, but I think it's kind of
I
used
went
as
to
like a
Bolingbrook.
last resort.
I went to Bolingbrook. Go ahead.
What about the? Because it is like school optional, it seemed like the schools, they had to have those like safety plans in place. So I would be curious to see what those safety plans look like. And I think schools that are trying to implement a safety plan should be given the opportunity.
Bam. And all schools didn't say no police.
Yeah.
There was 23, and they didn't say none. They said 1. And CPD said, nah, you gonna, what? You know how y'all be like, you gonna take these 2. You gonna take these.
I don't think that. I think that if you want 1, I'm kind of leaning towards CPD on this one. If you want 1, no, you got to get 2.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that's like the number 1 rule of, you shouldn't be alone.
And what's the dean job now?
Is it still a dean? Because they don't even have dean. The dean job used to be, if you messed up at recess, you was going to see the dean.
And what's gonna happen?
Oh, Joe, you was getting detention. You might get in school. You might get external. They might call your parents. See, why y'all? Like, I was more like, I'd be like, please give me internal. Don't call my parents.
Man, you crazy. I'd be like, see, you grew up in a different area. Like, and they call my parents, I just say, hey, I just call some fake girl, and then they just say they my mama. It's like ways to like get around it.
See,
and then detention, I never went. No, I didn't.
See, the thing about Riis is people gonna always find a way to like get around something, finesse something. But when you try to re-envision what something like school policing could look like, you can't always play to the finesse. Like, so like, for example, like when I was a union steward, I learned that it's always gonna be people that ain't doing right. But for all those people that ain't doing right, it's enough people that's trying to do right that deserve this protection. So we can't wipe away these protections and these ideas based on the people who we know gonna always try to finesse the system.
So talk to me, Beulah. I hear you. I see you out there. Like, so I don't think every school has the same program, and I do think you should have the right to try it. I can see not wanting to have I can see not wanting to have a lunch buddy. And not just called a lunch buddy, but it's like you don't want anyone to know not where you are that has your kind of best interest at hand. So I understand that. I do think I think they owe someone a responsibility. I think they owe an explanation.
What they gonna say? They gonna pull up. They gonna pull up the data. They gonna. But think about it. No matter what, however they try to spin a justification, you gonna be able to draw lines between racism. Because they probably gonna pull up some crime stats, maybe some disciplinary stats in the school. They're gonna pull up something. They're gonna use some piece of data that they gonna think we're gonna work to their benefit, and then CPS gonna flip the data on them to be like, no, actually. So that's what's gonna happen. in my opinion. Anybody can use data to justify they whatever. And that's what we about to see. Some data usage. For real.
I don't doubt that. I guess my question for everybody is it all good? Like, is that what I really hope that at some point we don't feel like we gotta wait on the police to deal with our kids. Now, I feel like maybe the police job is to keep the door open and shut. But I don't want them